Okay, coming back to our clock drawing, I've shown you the tools on both sides of the screen. The middle of the screen is basically showing you your page you're going to draw on, and there's blue space around, which is um, places where you can put drawings, but they won't be printed if you print the drawing. And if you save them, they will be saved, but they'll be saved in the wrong place. It's basically like having a big drawing board. Before we start drawing, we set up our page. Now, depending on how you want to print or output your drawing, you obviously start by saying set up drawing layout. So I hold down my finger on the mouse and I select the layout, and at the moment it's defaulting to a standard size of ISO A3. Now, as most students here are working on A4, just change that to ISO A4. I'm keeping it landscape so that it actually fills the page on the screen. So all that's happened now is that the grid size has changed because the spacing between the dots is the same. I've just made a smaller piece of paper so I get fewer dots on the screen. So I now want to just set up my units just to check. Set up, drawing, and then units. Check that it's millimeters, that's what I wanted, and then set up, drawing, grid coordinates. Now this one sets the snap grid size. At the moment it's showing me grid spacing of 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters. Now that's quite big, that's a centimeter, so I'm going to half that down to 5. So X, I change X and Y to 5, and then OK. Before I click OK, I'll just show here that when you set up the grid, you can create different types of grid. At the moment it's orthogonal, like a XY graph, but you can also have isometric if you want to do isometric drawing with students, or oblique or customized angles. Normally most schools work with orthogonal and isometric. So I'm sticking with those settings, and I've got a 1 millimeter step spacing, which is accurate enough for what we're doing. So I'm now moving to work with a 5 millimeter grid. When I click OK, because the spacing between those dots is now 5 millimeters, I get more dots on the screen. Just check that my grid locks on and I'm ready to start drawing.